I am Iron Man.
Hello there.
Avengers! Yeah, I mean, these first two episodes of She-Hulk have been pretty good.
I really like it.
Yeah.
My biggest criticism, and this isn't in like it's not negative. It's just my biggest criticism for the show is it's so quick.
Yeah.
It's so like I think I have enjoyed everything about it.
Yeah.
First of all, the elephant in the room, I think the CGI got patched up perfectly.
Yeah. It looks better. It still looks a little wonky, but I mean,
it's Hulk though. Like Hulk has
yeah.
always looked wonky. Like that's the thing. Like the two of us have talked about how we're not big CGI critics, right?
No,
like
yeah,
we don't really care about that in general, but like I do think it looks better than what it had originally looked like in the trailers. I think they did a good job patching it up. But I like you said, like I think, or like I just said, like I think the biggest thing is Hulk just looks weird. Like Hulk is a human that isn't a human, you know what I mean? So like no matter, like it's not Groot, it's not a tree that you're like, oh, this must be.
It's not something you can
is.
Yeah, you can like completely animate. It still has part of Mark Ruffalo. You know what I mean? Like,
I also I saw someone I forget who or where I saw this, but something else about the CGI I saw was it's also weirder because with She-Hulk, they didn't like Hulk is, you know, unimaginably huge, right?
Oh
like,
yeah,
you can't physically
be
ginormous. Hulk.
Yeah,
but She-Hulk is really just large woman.
Like, yeah, she's just like a bodybuilder basically.
So that's the weirdest part about it is I think like I mean I don't know what her exact height is. Maybe that's something that can be attained, but like I think the weirdest thing is that she physically looks like a human still, and that's what makes it weird looking. But I think it looks great. I think it looks like I mean to keep going on CGI in the first episode, and we're doing episodes 1 and 2.
Yep, episode 1 and 2. Yep.
On the first episode, the Hulk versus She-Hulk fight. A great little like
that was a cool little thing. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Like I was like, oh, this is fun. Like,
but as it happened, I'm like, of course you gotta have the hero versus hero fight. Like it's, you gotta. That was fun. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I thought it was a great little CGI fight. It was I don't know. It was great.
Yeah, it was I really liked whatchamacallit, how they brought up in the beginning of Bruce Banner's power dampener thing. The thing he had on his wrist.
Yes.
Because that was almost like what they had for Doctor Strange in Multiverse of Madness when he was in 838 and they put that like handcuff thing on him.
Right.
I was like, oh, maybe they like, I don't know, Bruce tapped into the multiverse and, you know,
maybe
stole some of their technology or something.
I think there was a lot of cool, quick things in this show that I liked. There was the handcuff. I liked that, you know, he still had he had a bum arm still at the start of the show.
Yeah.
She-Hulk gets She-Hulk powers, which has a healing power of sorts. That wasn't really explained.
Yeah.
But basically he uses her DNA and then he uses that to help heal his arm.
Yeah.
Like it was such a I mean, it was a lame throwaway excuse, but at the same time, I was like, perfect. I don't need a full explanation.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yo, you're different enough that it helped me heal myself. Great.
It works, yeah. At least it didn't turn into Hulk dogs or something like that. Like the 2003 Hulk.
Hulk dogs, man, that's a throw. That's a Hulk dogs, and didn't his dad turn into like a giant electric monster?
Something like that. Yeah, he like absorbed things or something like that.
Yeah, I gotta one of these days I'll rewatch that just for the absolute hell of it. Like it's got to be the most ridiculous thing in the world.
Oh my god, basically like a claymation Hulk.
Yeah, it really was. I think it's on Disney Plus.
It could be, yeah. I think it's a Fox, right? Or oh no, I think Universal
the Hulk properties. But I don't know.
Weird.
I definitely saw it on some streaming site. But yeah, weird Hulk. But so She-Hulk, other casting, I already forget her name, but She-Hulk herself is
Oh
great.
yeah. Let me look up her name.
Jennifer
Jennifer Walters. Yeah.
Walters.
I forget her name. She's a comedian, or like she was a, or I guess not was. She is like a stand-up, not a stand-up, improv comedian, I think.
Tatiana Maslany.
Maslany. Yeah. Yep.
Maslany. Yeah, no, she's fun. She's like, that's what, like, I really, it's funny. Like, there's just no real. Another thing I'd say about the show is it feels like an adult version of Miss Marvel. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like whereas Miss Marvel was for a younger audience, She-Hulk is for us.
For an older, yeah.
It's obviously going to be more woman centric, but like it's for our age demographic, definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely like, I fit right in. Like, I'm enjoying the Hulk stuff. I'm enjoying the She-Hulk. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many quick gags. I guess my first thing to you, Brendan, is how do you feel or enjoy so far, or not, the fourth wall break?
I really like it. I didn't know that was her like whole thing in the comics too. Like I didn't know she did that in the comics. So I think it's a cool, and it's also kind of prepping them for when Deadpool enters the MCU.
Yeah,
I feel
definitely.
like so maybe they'll have like a cool little like moment where they both break the fourth wall at the same time, and they both kind of look at each other like, huh? Like
I mean,
almost how like Hulk looked at her when she broke, like he
yeah.
like they share the same power, so he could sort of see what she was doing, type thing. So
That's what it was interesting. Like he was like confused what she was doing, but he also looked where she was looking. Like, and she did it after getting her powers, which made it like, okay, is it somehow associated with her
the
powers? Like,
yeah,
that would be interesting in itself. I also didn't know. I found out She-Hulk break the fourth wall during it was some kind of featurette for the show. It was on YouTube or Disney Plus itself, or something like that. And I saw, oh, she always broke the fourth wall in the comics, so she'll be doing it in the show. And I had no, it was a complete shock to me.
yeah.
Yeah, I looked it up, and she's been doing it longer than Deadpool existed. Really, is the best way to put it.
Oh wow! So she was the first one to do it, and then
Yeah.
Deadpool just kind of,
Now Deadpool is the guy, right? Like, you know, it's his thing.
Yeah.
So I definitely, and to no surprise of this show, like I hope Deadpool somehow interacts with her, if not on this show, in a future movie. Like,
yeah.
I agree. I think it would be hilarious if you have two fourth wall breaking guys at the same time, and I think it just makes sense. No, I think it's great. In the second episode, did you catch the big joke that was regarding Mark Ruffalo and Edward Norton?
Oh yeah, he's like, I'm a completely different person now.
He's like, I'm literally a different person. And then
yeah.
she on the phone like puts it down and looks at us and goes, ha 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 ha. And
then
like, so that's her like acknowledging, yes, we all
yeah.
know it's not Edward Norton anymore.
Oh yeah.
Like, I just thought, and I think that's the thing. Just like with Deadpool, like the Deadpool movies, her fourth wall breaking stuff isn't overpowering. It's a good,
it doesn't feel like a gimmick. It feels like part of the character. Well, one thing, I mean, starting from episode 1 with the car crash, the Sicarian ship showing up on Earth, which, I mean, there's only one reason for a Sicarian ship showing up for the Hulk. World War Hulk. What was World War Hulk, right?
So it's Planet Hulk.
Planet Hulk. That's it.
So Planet Hulk was the first comic book in the series and then World War Hulk was its sequel. And if I'm remembering them correctly, but let's just assume I am. And Planet Hulk is kind of what Ragnarok was, right?
Okay.
So World War Hulk makes sense to be what's quote unquote next
coming up. Yeah.
Today actually did a little bit of research like 20 minutes ago. But like apparently there's a big rumor. So there is a big rumor World War Hulk is coming one way or another, right? But apparently a new rumor in Hollywood kind of a thing is that it's supposed to be the next Civil War for the MCU. I don't really understand what that means. Does it, like, maybe it just means it's the next Civil War level event where you have that many Marvel characters in it, but at the same time,
that it not being an Avengers movie type thing. Yeah.
Right. So like I hear that and I'm thinking, okay, Thor shows up.
Yep.
Kind of like pays his due. Like Hulk was in Ragnarok, Thor will be in World War Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume Guardians in one way or another show up. Some of them, all of them, whatever.
Yeah.
But who else? I mean, if it's World War Hulk on another planet, it's got to be a cosmic character. So who else would show up?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd think. I mean, I guess if Thor's there, Korg would probably be there because Korg
Maybe
was
Captain
on.
Marvel and Miss Marvel because of
Yeah,
the whole looping around thing, magic, whatever that's going on there, Kree
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, it would be interesting, but I think it's also interesting that was, as you said, like a clear setup for World War Hulk, a
Mm.
property that was not mentioned at
At
Comic Con at
all.
all.
Yeah, which could be maybe one of the missing titles from the Phase 5 or the Phase 5
Phase 6.
Phase 6. Yep. Um
They could also
and
just shove
Bucks.
things in Phase 5
Oh
because
yeah.
that's what they
That's
do.
yeah. Feige does what he wants.
Exactly. Yeah, no, and in the second episode, like, so we see the Sakaar ship in the first episode, and then in the second episode, when she's, as we were talking about, when Jennifer Walters is talking to Hulk,
Mm-hmm.
he's on the ship and it just takes off. It like light speeds away.
Yep.
And there's nothing else that could be setting up.
Yeah. I have a feeling we're not going to see any more of Hulk, like, any more of Bruce Banner at all during the show, except maybe like an end credit scene. The last episode, it could be like him arriving on Sakaar or something.
Yeah.
But
I gotta say, I'm not disappointed. It's too strong of a word, but I was hopeful. Like my nerd theory, like wants and desires, like that I always try to manifest into real life. Part of me really wanted to see. So another thing, episode 2, we see Abomination. I forget the guy. I forget the character's name.
Emil Blonsky, right?
Blonsky, yes.
Blonsky, yeah.
We see Blonsky, right? And we even see Abomination in the news, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
But knowing Abomination was going to be in She-Hulk, the show, a part of me really wanted to see Abomination versus Mark Ruffalo Hulk.
That
we've never seen that.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I think it could have been cool. You could have had like Abomination on the loose. Hulk shows up, Abomination wins, and then She-Hulk comes in to actually
finish the job. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Yep. Thank you. So I just think that would have been neat. It was just something we have seen, but really haven't seen.
Exactly.
But Hulk left, and I am totally okay with that because it is She-Hulk show, and it's a great show.
Yeah. I mean, I like it so far. I mean, going along with episode 1, I really like.
Sorry.
No. I really liked that the training montage scene, like in or they're in Mexico or something.
Yeah, I think it's Mexico.
But I really liked how, and it shows, because you forget how much of a time gap there was between Infinity War and Endgame. It was 5 years that went by. Like it always just seems like a year because that's how long it was between the movies to come out. But like
exactly.
In the MCU, it was a 5-year time span. So like it was cool to see that like Tony and Bruce kind of were chilling together, building this little underground fort, or like this underground lab for him, and this bar and everything. And I love how he was like, yeah, the whole time we were making it, Cap or Tony was bitching about Cap, and it's like he was still that pissed that he's like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't over that grudge that
he's still bitter.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, it works because I'm sure they talked, but they didn't really talk because that's what it was clear when Cap seeks out Tony. Like they haven't seen each other in a while, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it makes sense canonically speaking. It was a fun little jab. I loved the TS and BB, marking. The bar itself was just great. But yeah, that montage was so much fun. Like Hulk trying to be super serious, but Jennifer not being serious at all because that's not who her character is. So it's like, I love seeing you got two people with the same powers and they're completely different characters though. And I thought that montage was a great way to set that up as, hey, you think you know Hulk, but you don't know She-Hulk.
Mm-hmm. And I like how she gets pretty much right away a grasp of her powers.
Yes.
Like I love the ooh when he was trying to like calm her down like a horse.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm fine. Like it's me. And I was sitting there like, holy shit! Like she got it that quickly. Like it took Bruce Banner like what 10 years to figure that out. Like
right. It even says like 10, 15 years or something like that. And I loved. I thought that one comment that made it like was nail on the head perfect was I think it was when he does the blowhorn. I think it was in the trailer for anyone who needs to catch up, but it was in the like he does the blowhorn to wake her up, and she's immediately Jennifer becomes She-Hulk, and she's angry visibly, and he's like, so how angry? She's like a normal amount of anger right now, like it's like this is absolutely an acceptable reaction to what you're doing to me.
Yeah, it was such a cool like not an origin, but like superheroing up montage. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that was the other thing I really loved. I forget exactly how I worded it to Val after we finished that first episode, but I was like, wow, you like they were like, oh, this is how she got her powers, and we're done here. Like,
yeah,
obviously the whole show is going to be her origin story. You know, like just because Peter Parker got bit by a spider, that's not the end of the origin. You have the whole arc of Ben Parker and et cetera, to become Spider-Man. Like, that's what we still have to get through for She-Hulk. But the ease of which we got her powers, I was like, boom, done. Yeah. No explanations. I'm perfectly content.
And I'm glad they did because I know in the comics it was like she got like a blood transfusion from Bruce, and it was like, number one, this Bruce Banner would never allow anyone.
He would never willingly do that. No.
Yeah, and so I liked how he like accidentally dripped the blood in her cut. You know, like that made the most sense for how it to happen. Like,
it also like him having created the thing to keep himself from being hulking out. Like, it makes it's a quick, easy explanation to that's why he was Bruce Banner. That's why his skin was susceptible to being cut. Like, it was well written. Is really what it comes down to. It was super easy, barely an inconvenience, and it was well written.
Yeah. It's definitely the I honestly want to say so far probably one of the best written MCU show so far. Yes. Like, I mean, there hasn't been really many stinkers, but still, like.
But I have no complaints. Like I'm not exaggerating, and I don't. It's funny. That's what I've been waiting to talk to you about. Is I feel like I'm being too nice to the show.
Like, yeah.
Because I don't have anything bad to say. So
I haven't had a gripe with it. I mean, I know it's only been 2 episodes, but I had a gripe with a couple shows 1 episode in. You know what I mean? So this one was definitely very well done.
And like, even I'm trying to think, Miss Marvel, like, we had stupid things, right? Like oh well,
the clandestines,
is over, or like, would so and so really have done that or whatever? Like,
yeah.
Like, I feel like we had little nitpicky things, but I don't even have that with this show.
No,
is my point. Like, it's just
this one has been written so well. They're like, oh, I believe that. Oh, I believe that. Oh, that
exactly. And I even I can't even. I think it's the second episode. I can't remember when she has the family dinner. Like,
oh yeah.
I love the idea that Hulk's extended family like is still just people. Like, it's you don't see the regular side of the MCU, and that was kind of a window into that.
That's what the second episode made the MCU sort of feel like the Boys / Kick-Ass universe, where like there's just these rogue superheroes running around. There's because, like, you know, we look at, you know, all phase 1, 2, and 3, and it just seems like you know, like there are these multi what the hell's the word, like multi-dimensional, not dimensional, they travel through space, they do this, do that. They're like these crazy government employees almost that do the like almost extensions of the army, not just regular guys that suit up in costumes and go fight street crime.
That's what it feels very, and I think that's a credit to what the show is really going to dive into with the whole law and order aspect of the legality stuff, is that this show and what She-Hulk wanted to do as a character was focus on the real world. Like, and they're going to sprinkle superhuman stuff in it. Like, Titania, I think is what her name is, the girl that she beats up at the end of the first episode. But like, it's cool seeing regular things, right? Like, it's the joke that there are still civilians and regular people, even lesser superpowered people. You know, we saw it in the trailer that there was going to be a bunch of B, C list, D list, even like heroes and villains.
Frogman.
Yeah, Frogman. The construction crew. What
oh yeah, the demolition crew or something. Or so.
I you know, I just jumped at that, and that might, I don't know. I think that's right.
Some sort of destroying word.
But like, I really love the idea that it's more like the common man in the MCU.
They're not. They don't
really
have,
what it feels like.
They don't have to have these crazy superpowers, or because isn't Frogman like isn't he like basically kind of like a discount Iron Man? Like, he wanted to be like Iron Man and
no,
made his
that's
own suit.
Stiltman. I think that's Stiltman.
Stiltman. Okay.
Which is very like very much like literally
yeah.
he was trying to like make his own suit like Iron Man, and the only thing he could create was extendo stilts. Like that was his power, and that's it. And then Frogman, I believe Frogman's actually Backrop the Leaper.
Really?
Which is
the guy from Captain America.
Yeah, correct. But they actually they might be two separate leaping characters. I might be mixing up my characters here.
Yeah, you never know.
But that's my like these stupid powered, stupid costume people, and I just love the idea that that's what's coming. And like right now we've only gotten Titania and Abomination, and it makes sense though because it's the start of the show still, so they're gonna hit you with a big name to get you sucked in, right? Like that. We're probably if not the next episode, I bet episode 4 is when you get the montage of like, you know, Frogman, Demolition Crew.
Like, I didn't even think about that they'll do like a montage. That makes the most sense. I going into it, I mean obviously now probably the big story or the big arc of the episodes is going to be like Abomination and stuff like that. I thought it was going to be like almost like a superhero of the week type thing. Yeah, or you know, like or a case of the week type thing where like, you know, they do on like the Flash where like each episode's a different villain, but no, I like that idea of like a montage.
I really like the idea of a supervillain of the week, and I think honestly, I think we would have got something more like that if there was more time or episodes.
Yeah. Because is this an 8 episode?
It's if my sources are correct, it's 9 episodes.
Okay.
And I mean, but 9 half-hour episodes.
That's still a good amount of time, yeah.
Right, it's a good amount of time, but it's just it's so funny. Like I'm sitting here wishing there was more, and I think that's my point. Is I'm rambling. That's my point. Is that if these were 9 1-hour, like full hour episodes, I could see it more being like, okay, this week's Demolition, this week's Frog, or this week's Stiltman, whatever, like that. I think would make more sense. I think with a half-hour arc, that's what I'm calling episode 4. You get your supervillain montage.
Yeah.
There was something else with the. Oh, and the other thing you talked. Shoot, I forget how you said it. You said something that made me think of this, and that's like we were talking about how you see like the common side of the MCU, the civilian side.
Yeah.
And it feels like this is what actually Daredevil on Netflix tried to do, which was then, you know, retcon to not be real or whatever. We don't know yet. And we know Daredevil's going to show up, so it feels very fitting too. Like this is the first time the MCU itself, like Feige, is doing what Daredevil tried to do, and we know he's going to come in. And I really love that.
Oh yeah. I'm excited for the Daredevil episode. That'll be or hopefully he's in a couple episodes. Maybe he'll show up early, and then I don't know, but I
hope he's in it. I hope he's in 2 solid appearances of Daredevil.
What you're saying earlier about how like her family, like, you know, that whole dynamic.
Yes.
I really like in the first episode, I really liked how Bruce the entire time was basically sort of sneakily bragging that he was an Avenger, or that he is an Avenger. Like the whole time he was like, oh yeah, you know, me and Tony built this lab, and you know, like, oh, Cap, you know, Cap's ass, blah blah. Cap wasn't a vert. Like, you know, like he was kind of sort of bragging to her, like, yeah, I knew Captain America, I knew Tony Stark, like, you know. And Natasha used to sing me a lullaby, like, you know.
Did you ever watch Natasha used to sing me a lullaby, had me cackling. That was so funny. Did you ever watch Big Bang Theory?
Yeah.
This felt to me, I don't know how much of it you watched. This Bruce talking about the Avengers felt very much on par with when not Leonard. Which one was the not a doctor? He was the only one.
Oh yeah, the one that went to space.
That's right. So this felt very much like when he went to space and came back. He was like, I don't know if you remember, but I was an astronaut. Like, like he kept bringing up being an astronaut, and they're like, yeah, we get it. Like,
yeah. Like, we understand you went to space. Yeah.
That's what, like, I felt that way about Jennifer with Bruce. Like, yeah, I know you fought Thanos, or yeah, you know Tony Stark. Like, I got it. Like,
you brought everyone back. Like, I'm honestly surprised he didn't brag about that a little bit. Like, because that's what damaged his arm. So, like, you figured he'd be like, oh, you know, my arms hurting from saving the entire world, like
Right.
from
Right.
bringing everybody back.
I actually was thinking about that a little bit, and I on a little bit more of a down moment, I kind of think he would have let that go, and he quick mentions it because while it's fun to talk about the Avengers, that specific moment,
Yeah.
I mean that he failed in a way. He succeeded. He brought everyone back literally, but he also didn't cause, but that event led to
Thanos
Thanos's
showing up.
battle,
Yeah.
which ended up with Tony dying. So, like, to me, that I think that battle is very much and one of the greatest things I love about the MCU is I've always loved Bruce's and Tony's relationship.
Yeah.
Like, even from the earliest thing I love is the Iron Man 3 end credit scene when it's the two of them just talking and you realize that like Bruce falls asleep because Tony's just venting or whatever. Like, it's just so goofy. Like you like the idea that these two scientists would get along just bickering or talking or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I love that just kind of extends into the show.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely showed like, and like we were saying earlier, like how they built the lab together. You know, Tony, you know, I mean, he's a billionaire, so he can afford it, but he you know, built this underground indestructible lab for him with all this, you know, high tech dark equipment and everything, so that way he could form. And I also loved how in the show they talk about how the public gives them their names. Like he's like, oh yeah, Smart Hulk. Like I didn't come up with that one. Like kind of get a you kind of, because if you think about it, I mean, Captain America, he was named by the government.
Oh yeah.
Iron Man was named by the press.
It's one of the things that if you pay attention, most times in movies, people don't give themselves their names. It's actually one of the funnier things. And you know, from high school, this is I can't believe I'm going to bring this movie up again. You've already talked about it, but Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
Like you know, one of my favorite movies. It's like, I love that movie. It's so simple, so funny, so goofy, and also badass, and it's fun. And
also an amazing soundtrack, but
amazing.
Just to say that.
One of the things I always thought was funny about that is how much effort he puts into his name. He's like, oh, what am I going to be named? Blah, blah, blah. Like, and then he settles on Kick-Ass. And that's what, when the people are recording him and they're like, who are you? And he's like, I'm Kick-Ass. In most movies, in most Marvel DC movies, they don't name themselves.
They don't have that. Yeah.
The press usually comes up with something that's one of the running gags in Shazam. Shazam doesn't have a name because he never says Shazam because it changes him. Yeah. You know? Like, so he still doesn't have a name because they can't call him Captain Marvel because DC Marvel stuff. But like, all I'm trying to say is it's another well-written joke and point made in the show at that point.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something that was never really touched on that much. I mean, other than I guess in the first Iron Man, because like right before he goes out, he goes, "Oh, Iron Man, I like the ring of that," or he says something like that. Like, I like the sound of that. But yeah, no, it's something that, like,
yeah, I mean, Iron Man, you like the sound of that. Vision, even like he was what was it, Thor's vision, so that's what they call him, Vision, you know, or Ultron's vision, I forget, something like that. I think it's Thor's, whatever. You know, all that, just like you said, Captain America covering. Spider-Man was the public, or well, I don't know, that one I could go either way, because if I think it's Civil War where he's like, what are you, the Spider-Man? He's like, I'm Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the idea they truly don't give themselves their names. I also think it, you know, I'm a little corny. I'm always a nerd at heart, and I like that plays into the fact that, like, you know, a hero wouldn't put that much emphasis on that part. They're just doing it to try and help people.
Oh yeah, it's their self duty.
I do like, I think this is the second episode, but I do like that. I think it's funny. Jennifer doesn't like the name, but Hulk is like, yeah, I mean, She-Hulk has a good ring to it.
Yeah. She's like, I don't like it. She-Hulk's got a great ring to it.
Free publicity for him, basically.
Yeah. Also, sort of in like the family realm of the Banners, I didn't realize that they have like a biological resistance to gamma. Like, I was just thought it was just Bruce Banner that was it was just a fluke thing that happened. But he says, like, you know, us Banners have like a resistance to radiation poisoning. Like,
I don't even remember that. I'm gonna go with I believe you. So was that the first episode he said
Yeah,
that?
that was the first episode. Yeah,
I assume
he was like looking at their blood or something, and
I'm gonna take that as that was so I'm sorry, I'm gonna backtrack here a little bit. So he says that after she's contaminated and they're in the lab together, right?
Yeah.
If I'm putting the pieces together. So I'm gonna take that as he didn't know beforehand it was a family thing. Like he knew he was, and then the event happens, and so he gets a hold of her blood sample to look at it, analyze it, etc. And he's like, oh, it's biological. We are inherently a little resistant to gamma, and I think that's a clap on the back. Easy does it for Marvel team right there.
Yeah, they were just like, oh, that makes
yeah. She's
also we're all resistant. We can all be a family of Hulks.
No one gets radiation. That's not real. I think that's fun. It's clever. I didn't catch that, so I like it. I like it a lot. I think I thought it was like I said. Cool. I think it goes with it's an easy. They wrote off so many stupid little things right away that just made me go, yeah, this makes sense. I'm following along. I have no issues. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, no, it I guess you could say it was quote unquote lazy writing, but I liked it. I thought it was a cool.
I wouldn't say thing. Yeah, I thought like I get what you mean by lazy writing. Like I don't disagree, but I think it was more again with a show. I don't think you have to do that. I think with a show, that's what lazy writing is how a TV show works because you want to spend less time on those things and focus on the adventure. Essentially,
exactly. Yep.
Which is I just think I enjoy it and I thought it would work.
Yeah.
I also what was I gonna say? I think it's funny. I want to say so obviously She-Hulk's gonna get a costume at some point, but it'll be interesting to see how we transition from hesitantly using She-Hulk as instead of Jennifer to just straight up She-Hulk is She-Hulk. Like I'm guessing that's episode 3. I think she's going to dive headfirst in episode 3 into the She-Hulk persona. Like she is just fully embracing it in the next episode.
Yeah, I mean, because now she kind of like, especially at work, she kind of has to.
Literally has to. Correct.
Yeah.
I guess do we want to any? So I gotta admit I don't have anything written down. But do we have anything else for episode 1? I don't want to skip over.
Nothing. I'm looking at my notes. I mean, the fight was cool. I mean, there wasn't anything huge about like
it was just a fun fight.
We got our first MCU Sonic clap other than Incredible Hulk, but we got the first Mark Ruffalo Sonic clap.
Isn't that wild that they haven't done that since Incredible Hulk?
His staple move. Like
that
was like the coolest thing to do in the video game.
Like in Ultimate Alliance, that was the clap was the move.
Yeah, yep.
I thought it was cool that we saw that. I thought I liked that She-Hulk. Again, this is that lazy writing point where she's like she can't do it, and then all of a sudden she does, right? Like, but I actually like that it was like, oh, she didn't understand at first, and she figured it out in a second. But like, I like the idea that she had to still figure it out at least. Like,
and you could see how like pissed Bruce was getting because like she was getting everything so quickly. And he's like, God, this took me like over a decade to figure out. Like.
And I think that's a joke that works well for the show. Right? Yeah. Like, excuse me. Sorry. I think that's part of the running gag of the show.
And
that's what I like about, I think the show is, I just stared directly at the light and now my eyes are just on fire. I think the show is very aware of itself. And as a show that literally has someone breaking the fourth wall, I think it makes sense and it's done right. I think it is very aware of itself and it makes it better.
Yeah. It's definitely going in the right path.
I'm curious, like, sorry, I was gonna jump to episode 2 stuff again. That's I was gonna hold off real quick. But if you don't have anything else, just basically more Blonsky stuff.
Yeah. No, the only other thing just a quick joking thing was the Captain America fuck.
Oh my god,
that was perfect. That was great.
I love the credit scenes so far.
They've been really good. Yeah,
it's like Guardians of the Galaxy style credit scenes for each episode so far.
Oh yeah,
and I love it. The Captain America is not a virgin thing was hysterical.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest. Like, I know I've jokingly had that conversation with people. Did he not was it not until he finally got up with I forget her with Peggy Carter was one she like everything she said is an MCU fan's argument, right?
Yeah.
Like he never had a moment's rest. And to her credit, to a fan's, Bruce Banner says that he lost his virginity on tour in World War II.
Yeah.
So the modern day Captain America does not fuck.
The modern, yeah. I just thought it was so funny. She had like the whole diagram thing and all that, and it was just, I knew it. Captain America fight.
And even like Hulk being like, wait, you're not drunk? Because like she was like putting on the show to get him to admit it. And I also like, I loved, it's such a dumb joke, but I love the fact that Bruce would know this, right? Like Bruce, Cap, Tony, they were all Thor. They probably all sitting around.
Probably were drinking one night and talking like, did you have sex, Cap? Like
I could see it being like one of my favorite scenes in Age of Ultron is after the party's over in the Avengers Tower and they're all sitting around. The hammer scene, and they're just chilling, having a couple drinks, and it's like I love the idea that was happening, every week, every day, whatever, like casual Avengers moments like that. Like, I could totally see like the guys are gonna be beating Bruce down left and right, like, oh, you're still a virgin, you're still a virgin, and it's like, no, then he shares that moment. Like, I don't know. Again, it was a joke, and I'm way looking to it, but I just really enjoyed that joke. It was really funny.
It was, and it wasn't like a throwaway either. It was a good, like, it was a nice and a good joke. One other thing that speaking about like the Avengers and stuff that they brought up in episode 2 was, do the Avengers get paid? Do they have health care? Like, do they have, like, when
I thought that was an interesting comment because
her dad brought it up, right? And that's what I thought too. That's what I've always wondered. Like, do they get paid? Like,
so I'm gonna put this out there as that was honestly you call my bluff. I wasn't gonna criticize this because to me, that's like Marvel didn't realize what they had done, because we established in Falcon and the Winter Soldier they did not get paid because Falcon needs a loan.
Yeah.
So I take that as no, they don't. Avengers do not get paid. Huh. But again, I mean,
when you look at it, like Tony Stark's a billionaire, so I'm sure he probably throws them,
right. Like the Avengers bones. As a team doesn't need money, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're getting paid. But at the same time, the reason that joke still works is because She-Hulk is not an Avenger. She-Hulk is the one having the conversation. She has no idea. Yeah. It's not Bruce. Bruce knows what's going on with the money.
I just always thought that was funny. I was like, do they have health care? Like, because they're not government employee. Like, they're not, like, I guess at first they were run by the, like, S.H.I.E.L.D., the government, and then that collapsed. So after that, they were just kind of like guns for hire almost. You know what I mean? Like,
I definitely do not think they are, especially now. I mean, not that I think we'll ever see Pepper Potts again, but I think maybe Pepper's throwing a couple million here and there to keep things running, keep the lights on, kind of a thing.
Because wasn't in the comics, wasn't the Avengers Tony Stark funded? Like, he funded the whole thing?
Yeah,
or most
look,
in
the comics, my Avengers knowledge is here and there, and I will say what I know is basically, yes, at times Tony basically just keeps it going. He's not necessarily paying everyone, but he's got he's got the tower running, he's got the mansion running, like he pays the bills.
Yeah, so I mean,
if that includes dental, Tony's paying dental.
Better have the Aetna.
I think the insurance company I see the most commercials for these days is Liberty Mutual. He's paying Liberty Mutual.
Yeah.
Liberty Bibbity.
Liberty Bibbity.
But I definitely, I get so that's, I would love to hear a joke that like, Pepper's paying the bills because the unfortunate Tony's not around anymore. Tony, blah blah blah. But like, I would love to hear that like we never see Pepper Potts again, but she's paying the bills. She's
still writing the check. Yeah,
exactly.
or like if someone gets a check and it's just signed Pepper Potts or something like that. Yeah,
which is what they did in that's what Far From Home. In Far From Home, when Happy shows up with the giant check to donate.
Oh yeah.
And it's like it's signed Pepper Potts.
Pepper
like
Potts,
it's from Pepper. Like I love that. Like just do that. Just do that for like
for
hey,
the
did
Avengers.
anyone pay electricity this month? The Pepper's check came in the mail last week. Let's cast that and get that.
Yeah.
Let's get that going.
Uh,
I would honestly, I feel like we're gonna get a bunch of Avengers jokes like that in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Quantumania.
Yep. Most definitely, because I feel like he's gonna be bragging the whole time about how he saved the world and everything.
Right, because that's the whole his whole thing so far that we know of is that he like writes a book, right? And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, that's it. So that just
and
feels
he's got a podcast in Miss Marvel, right? Wasn't that what it was?
Yes, that's right.
So
yeah,
I
forget
feel
if
like
it was his or if he was he had
he was on someone, yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like he's definitely the big gloater out of all of them of hey, I was an Avenger. You know, I mean, it makes sense because Scott Lang was basically a no one. He was a guy in and out of prison, and
that's what I feel like for a money joke. It'd be funny if like Scott asked Hank for money.
Yeah,
and he's like, "What? Avengers didn't pay you?" And he's like, Pepper's not returning my calls.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
I can write these jokes.
Hire us, Feige.
No, I would love a throwaway like that. Because I think it just plays well into that, like you said, like with do they have healthcare kind of a thing. Oh shoot, I had another. I don't know. I forgot what else. So I was gonna say something about dinner. Oh, the other cousin that's not Hulk is hilarious. I got his manager at Best Buy. Like that was hysterical.
And I think it was like either his dad or something was like, see, Brian's got he got a promotion and a job.
And a job. Like that was. But like that's again like the well-written family because whereas Miss Marvel's family was just absolutely
like perfect,
all holding hands, perfect family, lovey-dovey, but also drama because she's a teenager. Like it was like lovely,
still
family, well written,
but not as realistic.
Right, this is the extended family where it's like you don't dislike anyone, but you also don't want to speak to cousin Jim who's going to talk about being a manager at Best Buy.
And I think the one woman at the table that didn't talk at all, I think that might have been Bruce's mom.
What?
I think so, because the one breakdown video I was watching, they were like, "Oh, those are Jen's parents. These two people are that other guy's parents." And there was just some older lady sitting at the table, and they're like, "Well, if it's the Banner family, that could be Bruce's mom." Like,
right? That would make total sense. I actually that was my elephant in the room was. No, like people brought, I forget who it was specifically, but someone brings up Bruce in the conversation.
Yeah.
But no one says it like it's his. God damn it. Sorry. No one says it like it's his son or something. Like, so that's the elephant. Where is Bruce's connection kind of a thing? If that's true, that's that's like an Easter egg at that point because she doesn't talk.
She doesn't say anything. Yeah. I loved when the dad was talking with Jennifer and she was like, oh, saying something about being the Hulk, like being She-Hulk. He goes, well, I mean, at least he didn't destroy a city, so you got that going for you. Like,
I know, I love.
It's funny that
guys, Incredible Hulk is real.
Yeah, like the Hulk is part of their family. You know what I mean? Like they whenever something happened with the Hulk, they're like, Bruce lost his temper again, or you know.
I love it. That's it really. We're bringing Incredible Hulk back into the MCU. What? That was 2010, so 12 years later we're finally referencing that movie that hasn't been referenced since Avengers 1. And we're doing it in such a funny way. Like her parents are just and the idea to jump around a bit, but that's the credit scene for episode 2 where was it when she was helping out the dad? She's helping out around the house. Absolutely. Especially that family dynamic. Absolutely. Like he's like, while you're here,
why could you
Hulk out and help me move this and that around the house? It was
totally would be something someone would do if their family member could, had that type of superpower. Like, it's almost like in No Way Home when Andrew Garfield was on the grandma's ceiling and he's like, my Lolo was just wondering if you could get the cobwebs up there. You're up there. And he's like, okay, that's fine.
That's exactly. I mean, like I can tell you right now, I have gone home. I remember my grandparents. I used to go over their house, but like it was like clockwork. I'd be ready to go, and well, before you do,
Could you
can you
actually? Yeah.
can you move like the table to the other room? Can you completely switch where the entertainment system is?
See,
It's like, oh my
yeah, I
God.
was say mine was always technological stuff. Like I'd
Yeah.
always go over to my grandparents. They'd be like, "Oh, can you actually show us how to hook up the cable again?" Or, "Oh, can you show us how to do the computer thing?" Or
I
grandma.
I loved my grandparents like every second. Could not possibly imagine trying to teach them how to use a Roku.
Oh
Like
my god, no! I
if
I had
I
to
could not possibly imagine teaching that to my grandparents.
I had to set
Like,
up a DVD player for them. This was a couple years ago,
yeah.
and it was probably like 3 or 4 years ago, and I had converted a whole bunch of their old films onto DVD, and I was like, "Oh, I made you a DVD." My parents bought them a player. I was like, "I'll come over and show you how to do it." I was over there for like 2 hours, and I don't think they ever touched it after I left because I like wrote down like step by step instructions, like step one,
Yes.
turn TV on. Step two, press this button. I like put like sticky notes all over the TV and the DVD player too, and it was just funny.
Yeah, I love it. I love it so much. I know exactly what you're talking. That's the best. It's the best. But that's what like that was such a good again joke. It was just such a
Yeah,
good joke. The idea that like, oh, while you're home and
can
also
you
a
actually
Hulk,
do? Yeah.
can you do these crazy things by yourself, please?
Mm. Um. One thing the when they talking about is it Titania or Titania, whatever her name is,
I
the
think it so the way I Titan. I think it's Titan like
Titania.
Titania. So
Okay,
Titania. Like
Titania. Okay.
like Titanic.
When they're talking about, yeah, when they're talking about her on the news, she's a super influencer, which I thought was hilarious. She's like
Oh my god.
a
I
superhero social media star, like
I
which
heard
which
them say
which
that.
it kind of brought it back to that almost feels like the boys,
Yes.
like Kick Ass, where it's like these superheroes that are famous on the internet and like they're influencers. They're not just these almost government employees.
That's what I'm curious as to what her powers are, and like because we don't know, right? Like I'm not. As far as I
I
know,
think
like
she's just like super
I
strong.
assume because she crashed
Yeah,
through the wall, so I assume she's super strong. But I don't know anything else about her. I don't know
because I
anything.
think I
I
think
don't know
she's
if she's
like,
in the comics at all.
yeah, she's like She-Hulk's main villain in the
Oh,
comics.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
But that's what like they were like, oh, she was a super influencer, and I was like, God damn it.
That is
Yes, yup, makes sense.
hilarious. Yeah.
That's yep, that works.
Totally would be something that would happen nowadays if superheroes were a real thing.
Absolutely.
I mean,
100%.
basically, you could say, like athletes are our superheroes of today. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
basically, so like they're all Hulu has live sports, and they're all sponsored and all that type of
I
stuff.
still look. I've slowly realized over time. God, I really hope we didn't talk about this on the podcast yet, but we might have talked about it last time. I don't remember, but I am realizing more and more how much I like Shazam, like a guilty pleasure movie. Like, and I
Oh,
know I
the
already
like
talked about Shazam this episode, but like specifically, what I'm going to bring up is one of the things I like about that movie is when Billy's stepbrother, I forget his name, but the stepbrother has the memorabilia. He has the Superman bullet,
oh
and
yeah,
he has the
he has the
Batarang
Batman.
replica.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like that's the kind of thing in whatever comic book universe. Like I love that. Like this, like that is very much what people would be going after.
Oh yeah,
Like just like you were talking about with sports. Like, and Nick and I have talked about this. Like like people love a jersey card or a
yeah.
game worn jersey or like a game used bat or something or a ball, a
Like
foul ball. Like
sneakers or yeah.
we love like you just said, sports players are real life heroes to like us, right?
Yeah.
Like they're the thing we can't do. And so in this world where superheroes actually exist, people would love a
1,000.
superhuman
Yeah. We also kind of got
whatever.
a glimpse of it in Miss Marvel too, where like they had Avengers Con and
Right.
stuff like that, and yeah.
Were they absolutely like Shatari like replicas or
Oh yeah, yeah.
pieces are getting sold around there and
Or like someone's got like an Infinity Gauntlet thing,
yes,
like I could
that's
totally see that.
I love that stuff, and I very much like it's. I just the way they superhuman influence shit. Oh my god, I'm just like,
It was,
yep,
yeah,
yep. Let's do it. Yep,
yeah.
let's get this going.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm excited for her. By the way, I really have. You ever watched the Good Place?
No, that's on my list of something to watch, but
It's
I've heard it's
on.
amazing.
That was a random look. Most times Netflix is like, here's a recommendation. I'm like, you shut that shit down right now. I don't want to hear your recommendations ever. But Good Place popped up one day. I watched it, and I've seen the whole show. Very good. And Tatiana's Jamila.
Oh, okay. I know that. Yeah.
Sorry, everyone. I have no idea how to say it.
Yeah.
She is a main character on The Good Place. Loved her character on The Good Place. I am very excited to actually see more of her in She-Hulk.
Yeah.
She's a lot of fun as an actress from again, what I know of The Good Place.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I love how when She-Hulk drinks and then she turns back into Jennifer, her like I mean, obviously her tolerance goes down, but like it immediately hits her. You know what I mean? Like when she's at the bar and she's talking with her boss. Like that was hilarious. I thought that was so good. Like
I thought that was funny too. Like from a comedic point of view, how he couldn't talk to her as She-Hulk. Like he is too intimidated.
Yeah.
Can you Jennifer Walters now?
Yeah.
Yes, I really like that joke. I thought that was super funny because she's like mid drink, no issue, turns into Jennifer, and she's wasted.
And we're talking about like a fire.
Fire? Like what? Great. It's like, God damn it! I kind of hate this. Like I feel like I'm just like applauding this show.
Yeah,
and I don't like. I really like it. I really like it. And
I'm very very much enjoying this show so far.
And I think the thing I like about it the most, and we've already said it, is it just knows what it is. Like,
yeah.
And it's so the thing that has my interest, right? Like the Blonsky Abomination stuff. I assume that's going to be the main plot. Like Titania, Idol,
Titania, however you say it, yeah.
Titan, Mrs. Titan,
Miss Titan.
She's like I said, I'm very excited to see more of her because I love the actress and. That's a strong word. I like the actress. Not just kidding. But I really like the actress. I am interested to see more of the character. We obviously haven't seen more of her, but I assume her and Abomination are the main plot, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm just hopeful that it doesn't. What I'm really waiting on is man, for a show that I'm like the episodes are too fast. 9 episodes almost seems like too many. Because I'm a little worried that there might be a dip in the middle. Whereas
might be that like lull episode or something.
Right, the rate it's going, you could knock this sucker out in 6 episodes, and I might give it a perfect score.
Yeah. So hopefully there's not those filler episodes. I mean, I'm sure,
and that's
Disney
what
Plus
I'm sure
model
there
is going to be the filler episodes.
But
what would be cool is if the filler episode was that montage episode. That would be a cool filler episode. Like then I'd be like, all right, that's
I would love a filler episode that, and I think the thing that has me most excited for it with She-Hulk is it knowing what it is. I'm hopeful that the filler episode, it's almost like a side quest in a video game, right? Yeah. Like they know what they're doing. They know it's silly. They know it has nothing to do with the plot, and they just have a great episode. It's just fun. It's almost like it becomes like a Workaholics episode or a Sunny episode. Like it's just goofy, like absolutely no meaning.
Yeah.
And I would love that. Make it as pointless as possible, and I'll have fun with it. If it becomes like the problem, like Miss Marvel was a good example of a bad filler episode, is when it felt like you still had important things happening and they were getting stretched out. Rather than do that, just have like random court cases, like you're saying, that just don't matter.
Yeah,
and it just be funny.
I think what would be cool is if they bring Daredevil in almost in that filler episode, and like She-Hulk and Daredevil spend the episode like finding like the rogue superheroes that are causing trouble or whatever, or gathering them up.
I feel like you just described a Marvel version of like a Mandalorian season 1 episode, where it was just a random adventure on a random planet, like it's a random court case that she's working with Daredevil or against Daredevil, and they got to figure it out. Has nothing to do with the Abomination plot, has nothing to do with the Titania plot. Like it's just its own thing. It's fun. Yeah. We like it, and you move on. That would be a good filler, and damn it, I hope it's that good now. I'm excited. It's really interesting how much I just didn't I just had no expectations for the show, and maybe that helps. Maybe that's really what it is. Like Miss Marvel, even I had no expectations on the plot, but we knew to question things because of the whole powers stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
we already were like, okay, well, something's different. So why? So now I have expectations as to you have to entertain me to why you changed something.
Mhm.
Whereas She-Hulk, I'm like, we got a Mrs.
Everything.
Hulk.
Yeah.
Do it.
Everything's pretty much cut and cookie cutter here, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry,
oh,
I feel like I just rambled for like 20
no,
minutes
no,
or
no, no.
something, but that was just yeah, I don't know. I just enjoying it.
It's got a good flow and it's got a good like it knows what it is.
Yeah.
It's not trying to be anything else. It knows it's a funny, goofy show.
And I really think that can help it last the season. Like it's not as serious as Loki or WandaVision or even Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like those more dramatic Marvel MCU shows, but it works and it can be one of the better shows by not trying to be a drama that it doesn't need to be.
Yeah. Speaking of like Abomination and stuff, I really liked the whole interrogation thing. Like not interrogation, but when they were talking to
The
each
interview.
other and like and yeah. And how he pretty much I don't know if it's a facade he's putting up or if he truly has changed and because I
I,
mean he's fighting he's with Wong, like you know,
right.
Wong's
Which they reference at the end of the episode,
yeah.
which was great. That was a great
Oh yeah.
Shang-Chi reference that was perfectly timed.
Yeah.
Um, I I think it is a simple, I mean, in the sense of a show, like you have the case of a prisoner who's, I don't know if a facade almost sounds like too serious. Like it's not that he's trying to be a good guy. He's just, I'm okay. Like I'm
Yeah.
not being problematic. Let me out early and we'll be good. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe like I have no idea. Maybe he is gonna go run underground as soon as he gets out, right? Like, but to me, his face is simply I just want to get the f out of prison.
Yeah.
Like, and I think this is one of the things I want to talk about with Abomination. I think it's going to lead to Abomination being a part of the Thunderbolts.
Oh
Like,
yeah. Yeah.
I think that is the end game of this show with Abomination.
Mm. Bringing him back into to be. And I also kind of like how he's almost like a cult leader sort of or
Yes,
like a
he's got his whole
guru type thing. Yeah.
yeah. He's
They
got his
didn't
whole
they didn't show it in the episode, but I know in the trailer there's like his like 7 groupies or whatever. They're all wearing like flower halos and stuff and I thought that was funny. I was like, "Oh, he's a little
yeah.
he's
He
almost
does
like
the whole like
Charles
namaste like
Manson." Yeah.
yeah. I really what's funny about that is we haven't seen him the actor in the MCU since the Incredible Hulk
Yeah.
and he's a completely different character right now.
Yeah.
But it's funny. It is
Yeah, cuz
very amusing.
and I like how they I don't know his origins in the comics and stuff, but I like how they he was like I was born in Russia, brought over to Britain, became a British like they kind of explained why he has a British accent, like
Yeah.
why he's a Russian dude with a British accent. Like he was like born in Russia, went to Britain, became a British special ops agent or whatever and
Now, the thing I love is his court case. And this was something Val and I were discussing after the episode, and I like to ask you like how your thoughts on it. So this kind of goes up to what is his end game? What is Abomination thinking about behind the scenes? Because he says when he's presenting his case to Jennifer, he says like, oh, the government forced me into the super soldier serum
yeah.
and it made me act this way. But Incredible Hulk, the movie, if you go back with me, folks, to the year 2010, to this Edward Norton movie, he gets a form of super serum that makes him, it really just gives him like peak human abilities. Like I don't think it gives him like super powers at all, but he's like peak, like think peak NFL player kind of like athleticism, right?
Yeah.
And he goes to try and go up against the Hulk and he can't hang. I love that he can't hang with the Hulk, right? He's too much. Then Kowalski, Bolaski, whatever his name is, Abomination, before he gets injected, he goes to the brain dude
Yeah,
who
the leader. Yeah.
He goes to the leader and he says, "Shoot me up with some Hulk stuff." And that's what actually turns him into the Abomination.
Yep.
So it's interesting to see him. Why is he lying? Is
Yeah.
basically is he truly lying because people don't know about it? Is he lying because he's just trying to blame the government and get out of prison?
Yeah.
And I think this goes into your question, Brendan, of like, you know, like I said, what is his end game? What is his goal?
What's
he being nefarious or not?
Yeah. I honestly forgot that he did inject himself with Hulk's blood. That's why he turned into like because I remember the super soldier serum, like the fight in the beginning with the like the sonic boom trucks and everything. But yeah, I completely forgot he injected himself with the blood. So yeah, I mean he totally lied about that. You know, left that off the table for Jennifer. So.
Or also presumably fair is that everyone in Marvel forgets that there was two.
Forgot. Yeah,
they're like, oh shit, was there a second injection in that?
Yeah.
Anyway, does the leader show up in She-Hulk? That would be
hilarious. Amazing. But like, that it would be cool if they made him like a gag character, not like a serious thing. Like what if he was one leader,
of the like montage villains?
It could be, yeah. That would be pretty funny.
That would be great. Like an Easter egg reference to him would be perfect.
Yeah. Or even just like a clip of him like getting handcuffed out of a, like into a cop car or something like that.
His head is still like pulsing, like to this day. It's not even bigger yet. It's just
pulsate. Yeah. One thing that I wanted to mention about the second episode was the little Easter eggs hidden in the article that she was reading. Did you see those?
Ooh.
I don't know.
When was she reading the?
She was reading an article when she got fired, and she was reading. It was like top 10 best jobs to restart your life or something like that.
Okay, and I almost want to say yes, but I don't remember. So no, like hit me with them.
So there was a reference to Wolverine in the one.
Get the shit
article.
Out of here!
Yep,
No,
yeah. It says man with metal claws fights in bar. It gets in bar fight. It was like one of those ad clips. Like ad things on the side, like those spam ads you get like on news articles. It said it was two of them. It said man with metal claws gets into a bar fight, and then the second one is why is there a giant statue sticking out of the ocean? they brought up the Eternals.
Okay, that's amazing.
And it was like it was something on the lines like why is there a giant statue sticking out of the ocean and ... and why is no one talking about it or something like it was something like that. Like
that's exactly what we've wanted since Eternals. Right? It's just people talking about it. That's a great joke. That is a 10 out of 10. That is amazing.
A good little gag thrown in there.
That's amazing.
But the Wolverine, I was like, yeah.
The metal claws thing. That's interesting because now you could go, it was a BuzzFeed kind of thing and it's going to not pay out to anything real and it blah, blah, blah. Like, but if we're going to get into like nerd MCU brain moments, you're telling me basically they're establishing Wolverine is out and about now.
In the MCU somewhere.
That is insane. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to tell Val this. That's awesome. Oh my god, that to go from Miss Marvel's mutant drop to that.
I mean, it's a blink and you'll miss it type thing. I only saw it from like a breakdown video,
right? Which is why, like I said, like they could very easily write that off, right? Like that could be a BuzzFeed like styled article where it's not real, or like man with metal claws could be a guy who has 2 wrist braces and they're made out of metal. It doesn't mean Wolverine.
Definitely hinting towards Wolverine,
but you're saying there's a chance.
And one of the things I thought was funny, Jennifer's phone, her background is Cap's ass. Like a zoomed in picture of Cap's ass.
I don't remember that.
Her back. Yeah, that was one of the things that they showed on the breakdown video I was watching there.
That is a great.
Her lock screen is Cap's ass. I was like,
that's really funny.
That's a good.
That's
joke.
Really funny. I love that. That is a great. God damn it, so good. It's really funny. I am going to be thinking about that Wolverine joke though, because there's not a chance in hell he comes in this show. No. There's not a chance they reference him again. But I'm going to sit here and say Wolverine exists in the MCU already, and that is
fucking shit up.
What if that's a
And
D23 announcement,
and
dude?
I mean it Wolverine got introduced in the first X-Men from a bar fight. So
Yeah.
like that was his first introduction in the movie. So like it makes sense if they introduced him in the MCU through a bar fight. So
Yeah. God damn. I mean, what if we get X-Men characters introduced in the montage? That would be wild.
That would be I mean, it would be cool. I feel like it would be too much of a cheap throwaway, but it would if they did like, like Jubilee or
I
something.
was
You know
about to say,
what I mean?
but if they did it with characters we don't care about,
yeah,
that's just a great way to be like, they're here.
They're a lot like
we're getting to their story.
Yeah.
They're here, and that would be enough to keep me like happy. Honest to God,
Yeah.
that would be a great reference.
Oh yeah.
You got me worked up, dude. That is a great cameo.
I saw the thumbnail like for the video, and it said like Wolverine confirmed in MCU, and I was like, bullshit. I was like,
what a great click.
I was like, let me watch it just to make sure. But bullshit.
All right, well, let me give him the click and the view and the there's the like, because he was yeah.
But no, I was like, they got us. They got us.
Yeah, that's awesome. Holy shit. Oh my God. I hope now you got my Deadpool reference like up and about again a lot. I love I don't have a perfect entrance for She-Hulk, but I would love a Deadpool cameo in She-Hulk just because of the fourth wall breaking.
Oh yeah.
But I still love the idea of him they tried to recruit him in Thunderbolts, and he mimics the Wolverine scene from X-Men First Class. It would just be the greatest cameo ever.
Wade, Mr. Wilson, we'd love to talk with you about joining our Go Fuck Yourself.
Yeah, fuck yourself.
Stuck it, Hugh.
I would love it so much. I mean, obviously, I'm excited.
Or like he's in like a drunken stupor and is like, you think? Because I have a feeling the Thunderbolts might be rated R or something like that. You know, it might be and he's like, you think you stupid fucks are the only one that can do an R-rated movie? Like, I invented this shit. Like,
that would be funny too if he's like it's an R-rated movie, so I could say fuck like 3 times, like fuck you and I'll go fuck yourself, and there we go. Now it's R-rated.
Yeah. Oh, that would be perfect.
That would be really funny.
Exclusive.
That's a great pop.
That's like my favorite. I was checking out at Walgreens and I was sitting like, at the front, and I was like, I'm gonna get that. And
I don't have it around me here, but one of my favorite like action, I have a few action figures like that I like to set up, and one of them is do you know Agent Venom? So it's I
think I've heard
Flash Thompson, the bully. He eventually gets the Venom suit.
Oh,
and he works for the army. So Agent Venom is like he's like a soldier as Venom. Cool. It's sweet, and it was a Walgreens exclusive. And like,
really? Is it one of those like Legends ones?
Yeah, it was a Legends figure, and that's what Walgreens, man. Not where you'd go for toys, but have some pretty great exclusives.
They really do. Like a lot of the exclusives, Funko, like the Instagram things they release. Whenever they had the Walgreens one, I'm like, that's what it was. They had a Deadpool the Duck one that I bought. They had,
that's cool.
But it wasn't sold in stores though. You had to buy it on like Walgreens website. I was like, who goes shopping on Walgreens website? But
right,
I just got it off eBay. But
the one Walgreens pop. I don't think I have any Walgreens pops, but there was do you know Superior Spider-Man? That's when there was a Superior Spider-Man Funko Pop, and it was a Walgreens exclusive, and I never got it. And I don't remember what it goes for anymore, but it was a get, and I didn't get it.
Yeah. 7-Eleven has exclusive pops too. They sell
That's
like
absurd.
And I know but when I think it was when Deadpool 2 came out, they had a bunch of Deadpool ones, but the one that was like the 7-Eleven exclusive was him in his X-Force suit, like the gray suit.
Okay.
And he had like chimichanga, or like not chimichangas, well, I guess chimichangas, but like what are the taquito things, those things that 7-Eleven sells?
Yeah.
Roll up things. He had those in his hands. Like,
that's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. I appreciate the joke with that one. That's good. Anyway, so I guess real quick, just to like wrap it up, but like my last question to you is like, any predictions or expectations for the show? I already said it before. One of the things I think works for the show is that I had zero expectations.
Yeah.
And I don't really have any predictions. I think the montage, which is a fun prediction. Which episode does Daredevil show up? I mean, that's kind of like, I don't know. I think it's too early. I think he's going to be like a 4 or 5.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, 4 or 5. Yeah.
I think he's going to be like in 4 or 5, and then the next episode after that, like I said, I think he's going to be in 2. Overall, though, like, look, the 2 main villains, because you told it to me, Titania is She-Hulk's villain, and then Abomination, which we obviously have as the Hulk villain. I think they're the main villains. So, honest, I gotta go with Abomination isn't the main villain, though. It's gonna be Titania. Like, she's the
I have a feeling she was hired by Holloway, the head guy, her boss at the new firm.
That's not at all what
because he seems like really shady.
Yeah, he does. I'll give you that. I thought you were going with, because I don't remember names right now, but I thought you were going with she was hired by Madam Hydra lady, Seinfeld.
Could
chick,
be, yeah. Could be.
And like long con to get Abomination out, who we already are establishing as a Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
So I definitely think they're gonna pull, however the cards are played. I do think she's playing the cards at the end of the show. I think she's a credit scene. She is
she's definitely going to be
recruited.
Yeah. She's definitely going to be I don't know if Abomination will be sitting on a park bench like what's her name? Yelena Yelena, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if she'll be sitting having that, but I'm sure it'll be some sort of thing like Mr. Yablonsky. We'd love to hire you.
I very much think that, but what I'm trying to say though, between the 2 villains, I'm gonna go with She-Hulk fights Abomination in episode 8.
Yeah,
it's the last time we see him. The finale is She-Hulk versus Titania. Like, if she is the She-Hulk villain, she is going to be the finale.
But most definitely, yeah. I feel like that's probably going to be the case, yeah.
Because my again, I like, as much as I'm enjoying the Hulk references a lot, I think that is something Marvel has definitely done. Is here's your cameos, but this is your character. This is your focus. And so that's what I'm predicting. That is my prediction for how the show goes. And if I'm going to throw up a half-court shot, Deadpool does a 4th wall break at some point in the show.
That would be perfect. Just a little like a hey, you're not the only one that can do this. Like, like almost like you ever see that? Did you ever see that the movie where George Lucas accidentally makes a cameo? It's like a documentary, and they're like,
no.
Yes. He like just walks in the background to like going into a store. I would totally feel like it would be like they'd be like bringing that, like, walking down with She-Hulk and her paralegal, and like they're talking, and then Deadpool just kind of walks through the background and then peeks his head back over, like, you think she's the only one that can do a 4th wall break? Like, get ready for me.
He does like the what is that meme? The boyfriend meme? The
oh yeah.
What is that? I forget what it's called.
But she's like he's like turned around.
Turned around because that's it would be funny if he did something like that, or but yeah, definitely I could like. I'm so easy to please. You could even just have him do a voiceover. Like at one point she's talking and he responds and she's like, who the hell is that? And it's like, oh, this is your competition. And that's it. Like,
and that, coming fall of 2024. Like,
just wait for D23, bitch. And then he just leaves.
And just, that'd be perfect.
That would be so funny. It would be so funny if, I have no idea what the schedule is and what the math lines up for, but like, what if the episode before D23 is he makes some kind of cameo in that, and then at D23, Deadpool 3 gets announced? That would be perfect. That would be awesome.
That would be perfect.
That would be awesome. Oh God. But yeah, I don't have really anything else to say. Obviously, TLDR, good show.
Great show.
Well written. And I'm having fun.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting too much, just because, almost kind of like Miss Marvel, I don't know too much about the character, and I didn't really know what the show was going to be about. But I'm glad they're making it sort of like this legal comedy mixed in with superheroes. Like it's it's working well. So I hope it continues, continues this format and get some good episodes.
You know what? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you.
No. I'm finished out there.
I will complain about one thing. Why are we on Thursdays?
What happened? Yeah. That's so.
What the frick happened?
The only thing I can think of is I think Andor's coming out soon. So
is Andor sticking to Wednesdays?
Maybe
then?
Andor will be Wednesdays. I don't know.
God,
it's just weird that it's Thursdays. Yeah, that's at least make it Tuesday. Like
I think so. For anyone listening, thank you for listening.
Yes,
I appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that classic stuff. 35. We'll get there. 35 subscribers.
We need one more person.
One guy. Just one of you suckers.
One of you
subscribe. But I believe we would like to try and get them on Fridays. Obviously, not things happen.
Yeah,
but I mean, just wild that they're like
that it's on Thursday.
It's on Thursdays now.
Yeah,
like,
what? I feel like they should at least. I don't know. Tuesdays would make more sense. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
Or even Monday. Like,
the thing I loved about the Wednesday release is it's halfway through the week.
Yeah.
You're like,
it's your marker.
It is. Yeah. You're like, because the next day you're like, oh, there's only 2 more days of work. And like when you wake up on Wednesday, it was like, okay, we still have half a week left, but new Marvel.
I get to watch,
tonight.
I get to watch Ms. Marvel, or I get to watch Obi-Wan Kenobi tonight or something.
I love the Wednesday release schedule, and
and it's been like that for every show. Like every show has been Wednesday.
Was the one that was like, let's get weird and do Wednesdays. I think it was, and I love it. I don't like Thursday. Like we've only had 2 episodes. I don't like it. I'm waiting too long into the week. It's driving me nuts.
It's a bit of a weird. Well, and even this release date got pushed back a little bit, and then Andor got pushed way back, like a month back.
Yeah, Andor definitely got delayed. I don't remember She-Hulk getting delayed, but I would assume. I don't know. I just don't remember. Actually, real quick, we talked about off air that we might, here and there stuff. DC.
Yep.
DC is in the goddamn toilet.
Warner Brothers is just pulling all the rope underneath everybody.
They were supposed to release 4 DC movies this year: The Batman, Black Adam, The Flash, and Aquaman 2. They delayed The Flash and bumped up Shazam 2 as like, oh, you'll get this one instead because we'll be done. Great. Yeah. And obviously I am a fan of Shazam, so I was like, great.
Perfect.
Bummer that The Flash is delayed because that sounds like
looked
a good
amazing.
movie.
Michael Keaton Batman.
Black Adam sounds great. Like I love The Rock, so I'm excited for Black Adam.
Yeah.
But like, and then they delayed Shazam 2 now till next year, which sucks. They delayed,
which doesn't make sense because they released the trailer and everything at Comic-Con. So like obviously the movie's close to being done, if not already done. So
and Aquaman 2 got delayed from this Christmas till next Christmas. Christmas.
I didn't even realize that Aquaman 2 was coming out, to be honest. Like,
it's.
Well, I have a feeling that probably happened because they had to cut Amber Heard out of all that stuff. She was the one that was on trial with Johnny Depp.
If they do that, because like to me, that's not like she's a bitch. I don't know if that's
that's common. That's I don't know the right term, but that's everybody agrees with that.
If you want to cut that,
she's a big old bitch. Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody agrees with it.
Like clearly she targeted Johnny Depp. She tried to ruin his life, and
he got fired from the Harry Potter movies.
But I don't. Sorry, what about Harry Potter?
He got fired. He was
he got fired from Fantastic Beasts.
Fantastic Beasts. There we go. Not
I think she's a terrible person. I don't think she has to be cut from Aquaman 2 though. Just don't bring her back for the third one.
Like maybe kill her off or something.
Whatever. Like I don't care. I didn't even realize she was in the first movie enough to care that she's in this movie. Like I don't know. That's she didn't look. I don't like her. Big old bitch. Like but like I don't think she's done anything enough that makes me like think scrub her from the movie kind of a thing. I don't know. Whatever. I'm also anti-cancel as much as possible.
That's just the new thing is you did something bad, we'll take you out of the movie. Like
that's what like I would rather just let that come out and then just don't bring her back. Like that's fine. I don't need her.
Have her for this movie and then don't hire her again.
I want to like DC movies, dude. It's
just so all over the place. Like they have the Joker. They have now the second Joker's coming out, and it's like, well, is this going to be connected with anything, or is this its own set? It's like,
and the Batman. Like Did you like the Batman?
I really liked it.
Me too. Also its own thing. We'll
also
never
its own
hear,
thing.
like,
Yeah.
it's funny because I think if everything in DC was its own thing, we'd be okay. Like,
Yeah.
if they decided screw a universe and just do different projects,
yeah.
I would just be like, great, thanks for that being clear, and I can move on with my life. As opposed to we're sitting here like, okay, Aquaman's still connected, and we got Ben Affleck, and we got Michael Keaton.
I have a feeling. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna do with Joker, because Joker feels it's not. Joker wasn't even really a comic book movie. It was like an art house movie. With a comic book character in it. But I feel like the other movies, like the Batman and I mean, obviously Shazam and all them are all connected, but maybe they'll bring in Robert Pattinson's Batman as like a Batman from another universe or something like that. Maybe they'll do like a multiversal, like
that would be a cool reason why it was delayed too.
Yeah,
why the Flash was delayed. If you bring in Robert Pattinson somehow, I could also, God damn it, sorry.
You're good.
I could also see them somehow saying the Batman is not past life, but like young Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Like, because Ben Affleck is clearly supposed to be old man Batman, and the Batman is supposed to be like year 2.
Year 2, yeah.
So I think it would be kind of neat if they somehow do that. Like, and that was always something that was supposedly in the works for Dark Knight after that was such a success and they had Man of Steel in the shop, was like, oh, is it going to somehow tie into the next thing? It didn't. And good for what's his name? Good for Batman.
Christian Bale. Yeah,
but
they get
like,
tied
I
up
totally
in this shit
them,
storm.
Like just keep running, because the Batman's great, and just keep running with Pattinson, who's also a great Batman, and let that be its own thing. And then maybe at the third one, if you've established it as a trilogy, it ends and like maybe he makes the suit with the big fat bat logo on it or something. Like, that would be cool. And it's like, okay, this is officially like a prequel to Batman. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that would be great.
That'd be sweet. Yeah.
I don't know. I just, there's a lot of drama we don't need to get into with the Warner Brothers stuff. Like, a lot of it. Batgirl getting canceled sucks.
Oh,
but like,
God. Yeah,
I hope the delays are all going to, like, I hope one of the things is that they're going to try and establish DC. I hope they do. I hope they figure it out.
You know what I didn't even think of too is the Suicide Squad is part of DC's universe. So like,
sure is.
Oh my God, there's so much, and like the Arrowverse stuff. Like, I understand that was all done and started before all this DCEU stuff, but still, like, that's like Marvel solved that problem when they're just like, oh, all the Defender series stuff is now MCU canon. Like,
right?
They can't really do that with the Arrowverse because there's so many. Like, there's like 10 seasons of Arrow or something like that. Like,
I love the Arrowverse. I've watched so many of those shows.
Yeah, I love the Flash.
Crisis,
the Flashes. Yeah,
they do. So Crisis on Infinite Earths is their multiverse, and in that, this is a spoiler. I know.
Okay.
Yeah. In Crisis, I forget his name. Ezra Miller shows up as the Flash, and it's like, okay, so you're establishing that Justice League's universe is in the DC multiverse with Arrowverse. I love that, and it's. Oh my God! Crisis was so good.
Honestly,
every DC fan.
They should just scrap Ezra Miller. He's obviously causing way too many problems for WB, and just bring in the dude that played him in CW.
I would love that
because he's an amazing Flash.
I would love if Ezra Miller does the Flash movie, and like the final thing he has to, like, let's say he has to run through time one more time, and like they just cut his final scene, and they bring guy,
back,
it's the guy from the show just showing up, and he oh, I just feel different. Yeah, it's a new day, and it's like, okay, he's Flash now.
Yeah,
I would love it. I would love it.
That'd be perfect
so much. I forget why I brought this all up and to get this going, but like, I just, it's a bummer so many of those movies got delayed. I hope it ends up being a good thing. I hope they really do get a timeline established. I also think this is the last, like, kind of, I don't even think this is that like far-fetched to say. Iron Man was a like C-list hero in the Marvel universe before that movie came out, and Robert Downey Jr. killed it, right? Obviously, like I said this before, everyone loves The Rock, or 90% of people love The Rock, and he is Black Adam. I don't think it's far-fetched to say that they might try to build the universe around Black Adam.
Yeah, I mean, I could totally see that. That movie's probably going to do insane at the box office because people love The Rock. Yeah. Like that's why they brought him into like Fast and the Furious and all that shit, because people love The Rock. So like, yeah.
And the kicker with this is he loves this character. He like is a nerd.
It's almost like
who
like
fuck
Ryan
likes Black Adam.
Yeah.
But The Rock is like, oh, this is my guy.
Well,
like,
yeah. It's almost like Ryan Reynolds. Like nobody really knew about Deadpool, and then Ryan Reynolds is like, I want this character to become a movie because I love him so much. Like,
and the fact that they get to do that with The Rock in universe, like they are being handed an opportunity here.
Perfect.
Just let The Rock build it. Yeah. Like just build it around him. Make him your new like I'm not saying make him Superman, but just make him a big deal.
Yeah.
And just run with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I look, I'm a sucker. I'm very easily entertained. Like, but I say don't overthink it.
Just add it, because he's a great character too. He's like an anti-hero, right? Like, I mean, he's Shazam's villain.
The thing. As far as I know, he's just straight up a villain. But The Rock is like, he's an anti-hero. Like, so he's making him an anti-hero. Like, regardless of what he is an anti-hero.
Okay, but I know he like isn't in the comics. He's Shazam's arch nemesis, right?
He's his arch nemesis. That's what like. But I don't know. I'm curious. I also think there were screenshots or cover articles or something of like Dr. Fate came out recently.
Yeah.
Like the Justice League characters in Black Adam look great.
Yeah, Dr. Fate, Adam Smasher's in it. Smasher. Hawkman, right? Or was that his name?
Yeah,
Hawkman
big dude with wings.
Whatever, yeah. He's in it. There's a girl in it. I forget who it was.
Yeah, I forget who you're correct. But my main two are Adam Smasher and Dr. Fate. Just
I love that they did Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. Like that's a perfect cast. Like
I've only seen like one clip. I don't even think it was a trailer. I don't remember what I saw it from, but it sounded great. It looks great. Like yeah. And
they got the character design down perfect. It looked, you know, I mean,
the helmet's awesome.
Yeah, like they didn't try to tweak it in any way. Like it's straight out of the comics and the video games and stuff. Like it's Dr. Fate. Like.
And to kind of bring that around, I love that we're just diving into these costumes. Like Daredevil's in the trailer for She-Hulk, the yellow and red.
Oh the original
yellow suit is here, baby.
Oh yeah. That's gonna be awesome. I'm so excited for that.
So that's gonna be a great Funko Pop.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's a definite buy.
Oh yeah. I am very much on board for that one. All right. I think I'm good. I'm done for the time.
That was a good episode. We're gonna. The past couple weeks have just been insane schedules. I mean, I've literally every night I had something going on. So
that's what I was actually about to say. I as much as I just said we're gonna try and do Fridays, I already told you I have a wedding this week. So okay. I definitely can do weekend. So like we should be able to have one out by Monday, I would assume.
Yeah. I could probably do next Sunday at some point. Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. We'll try to get and I mean there was also a lull of content. There wasn't much out.
We took I thought it was a well-desered week off.
Yeah. We were pumping out episodes, pumping out 2 episodes a week at one point. So
right.
Took a little break, but yeah, no, we'll get back to that, you know, weekly schedule with She-Hulk and then Andor coming up. So, we got a lot of content.
Well, quick Andor question for Brendan.
Oh yeah,
are you gonna watch Rogue One before Andor comes out?
I think I'm gonna rewatch. I've been wanting to rewatch it. I don't think I've seen Rogue One in probably like 3 or 4 years. So, I think
of me. I agree. Like I want to rewatch it because it's been a while and it makes sense to, but also because it's a prequel, I kind of want to hold off.
Yeah.
Till it's
and
done.
then maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll wait. But I'm excited for the show. It looks
very
amazing.
Yes. No, that is not a I'm very excited for the show. Hands down.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Make sure to do the things, the liking and subscribing, the sharing it with your friends if they're fans of anything nerdy.
And as the first episode of the show, give us your prediction for literally anything.
Yep. For anything in She-Hulk. If you got any predictions of what the shitstorm at WB is going to happen, whatever you want to throw at us.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.